Welcome, 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 everyone. I'm Kim at BeTheChangeNow.com. Today, we're going to be talking about what a private session looks like with me. So, there are many practitioners out there, and they all have lovely approaches. And I know most people say, Kim, what are sessions like? Right? You want to know without, before deciding taking and scheduling a session. So here we go. Simple dimple. There's 3 parts to private sessions. The first part is where we discuss what's going on with you in your life that you want to share, what's up with you, and what you might want the focus of the session to be about. So being empowered and taking part in your healing process, you can decide on the intention for the session. And your intention can be anything on the physical level, emotional, mental level, the spiritual level, manifesting, anything your heart desires. So, because everything is energy. So there we go. And if you're not 100% clear, I usually say, what's bugging you most in your life right now? That's usually something your higher self soul wants you to address, trying to get your attention. So that can be it as well. And then we move on to part 2 of the session, which is where I will do the spiritual intuitive facilitation healing. And during that part, pretty quiet, whether you're in person or whether we're doing a remote session. I have clients outside of the country as well as within the country. I will let you know where I'm putting my hands, whether you're in person or remote, so you know where I'm going before I go there. You might say, for a remote session, why does it matter? A lot of people will feel my hands. So I do like to let you know where I'm going. And just to be clear too, hands are never in any inappropriate positions. Hands will never be on the genitals or anything like that. So usually hand positions could be on the head, on the shoulders, on the stomach, on the hips, knees, feet, things like that, arms. And again, I'll tell you where I'm going before I go there. And during this session, we're getting you into a very deep meditative state, very high consciousness. Some spiritual practices would say we're helping you get into the void, into the silence, into the stillness. From a biological perspective, you're probably really in deep theta, high delta, which are deep meditative states. So I also remain quiet so you can have your experience as well. And once that part 2 is complete, we move on to part 3. And in part 3, we've got 2 things that we do. In part 3, the first part is I'll ask you what your experience was during the session. And why do I ask that? And no, I don't ask it to be nosy. Why I'm asking it is because just like if you don't wake up after a dream and write it down, you're going to forget it. It's the same thing. You've just been in a deep brainwave state, deep meditative state. So if you don't recall what your experience was, you're not going to remember it. And some people will have amazing aha moments, as well as just amazing experiences that they want to remember. So we're asking what your experience was to help you remember. And also, if you're interested, I can put them in notes for you as well. I do provide notes after each session so that you have something to reference on your path forward, on your healing and spiritual growth path. And the other reason we ask what your experience was is so many people come to us and say, I don't have any intuitive abilities. I've never experienced anything. I've never experienced intuition. And in the session, most people do experience intuitive abilities, whether they're seeing things or hearing things or feeling warmth or tingling or whatnot. So again, I can point out to them, look, you do have some of these abilities, and just like an Olympic athlete needs to train and practice, that's the same thing with intuitive abilities, right? And you might say, well, I don't want to be a psychic reader. Why do I need intuitive abilities? There's a big why. The why you want to hone your intuitive abilities is so that you have clear communication with your own higher self soul. And why? Why do you want clear communication with your own higher self soul? Well, your own higher self soul knows the most joy filled, ease filled, love filled, peace filled path forward for you. So why wouldn't you want to know? Right? So that's the why there. Anyway, in part 3 of the session, we finish that part and we move on. I guess you'd say part 3B would be I'll share what your soul would like me to share from the session. So that might be if other lifetimes came up, it might be focusing on any kind of physical changes that might support your growth. It might be focusing on any mental, emotional changes, such as meditation or yoga or whatnot that could support your growth. And it's giving ideas from your soul of steps you can take, actions you can take coming out of this session on supporting healing blocks from this session, the intentions that we are focusing on in the session, to continuing doing that, as well as other blocks in your life, so that you can be empowered and participate in your healing and growth process. Oh, and one more part. A lot of times people's souls want the healing to go on for a little while. So we might put in motion a healing program. They usually last anywhere from 1 to 6 days. And so you will have additional healing during those times. You could have additional aha moments. You could have feeling additional warmth or tingling as the healing is coming through. And talk a little bit more about that in the session and on my website as well. All righty. Hope that was a good high-level overview for you all. And definitely, if you have more questions, feel free to reach out. My contact information is listed below, BeTheChangeNow.com. A lot of free resources on the website in the resource section of the website. And also, you're welcome to schedule a free 20-minute discovery session with me to discuss more about what sessions are like, what my classes are like, things that are coming up for you in your spiritual growth process, whatever spiritual topic you'd like to discuss, or energy healing topic you would like to discuss. All righty. Oh gosh, I always forget. And also, if you enjoyed this video, please click, I think it's here, to subscribe. That would be lovely. All right. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And namaste and blessings. Hmm.